Alright, this is a viewer requested review. They requested it yesterday, and I am doing it today. That is quick turnaround, that. You should be more impressed. This is Infiniteers number 16 by Roger Thomas and the genius Todd McFarlane. The viewer who requested this, the fan, the proud member of the Son of Nimrod Spunk Brigade, aka the Cum Cult, he wanted me to review a comic with this character in it. This is Mr. Bean. You all know Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson. He's hilarious. But this is his first appearance. His first ever appearance. This is before they had really ironed out the many faceted layers to the comedy stylings of Mr. Bean. So this isn't one of Mr. Bean's funniest things, but it is interesting. It's a real piece of history. Hell hath no furry like Mr. Bean. It says furry because this girl is Miss Furry. She's a proper furry, really into that sort of stuff, and she's dressed like an advert for McDonald's. Infiniteers was a Justice Society of Superheroes spin-off. It was about, like, their kids and their sidekicks and their legacy. And it started off, we had Supergirl and Mockingbird, Chelsea Kane, the Batman's daughter version. They were members of the team, but they got written out. So now we're focusing on these characters who have mostly been stuck in comic book limbo for the last 2 decades. Hashtag make She-Hulk she-hot again. Hashtag please. On this next page, we've got a good page showing the team here. On the side, like a cast of characters thing. And I'll go over them in order of lasting impact on the DC Universe. Most important one would probably be Jade Lanterns. Because she is not just a Green Lanterns, but she is She-Hulk's too. Next one would probably be Hyperion here. He's been in a lot of stories over the years. And next would be Bucky, because he comes from the golden age of comics. Then probably Obsidian Man, who is one of my favourite characters. Definitely my favourite one on this team. Then next, I would say Miss Furry, because she is Wonder Woman's Sprog. Then maybe this guy here, Orc from Orc and Dove. And this one here, this is just one of their girlfriends. And I'd even hazard a guess, she is more relevant than this one up here. Not because he's black, I'm not racist, just of these characters, I have not seen him in many comics after Infiniteers was cancelled. I think he was in like one Justice Society of Superheroes story. One I have reviewed as well, and he was so inconsequential to it, I didn't even mention him. And honestly, despite these characters, their villain for this issue, Mr. Bean, he probably has more appearances than all of them, except maybe Jade Lanterns. They are playing volleyball, which was created by Top Guns, the Val Kilmer film. This is a lot less gay though. I mean, they've got lasses playing for starters. And this bit here, this bit is offensive. Because Hyperion, he gets hit in the face with the ball. And he pretends to have brain damage. This is offensive. He is doing the equivalent of disabled blacken up. He's spacking up. He's wearing spack face. It's okay, I can say spacker because I am one. Proper dyspraxic and that. And here is one of their mentors. This is the Black Panther. And this is one of the few comics where he doesn't die of old age. Miss Furry, she is engaged. Not to a furry, weirdly. She's engaged to Orc from Orc and Dove. Well, maybe he is a furry behind closed doors and we didn't know that. Maybe he likes to dress up like a orc, a furry orc. And Miss Furry's mum, Wonder Woman, she has got them an engagement present because they are furries. She has gotten them baby kangaroos. Not the best present, really. If you're thinking about getting me a present and you're going to get some baby kangaroos, don't bother. Just give us some money or a voucher or something. There is some cheesecake for you. This is Hellcat. She ends up joining the team eventually. She is like Black Panther's Padawan learner. This is maybe her first appearance. Maybe she was in an issue before this. This is a very early appearance either way. She don't really become Hellcat until Christmas on Infinite Earths. And here is a baffling profile shot of Hyperion. He doesn't day out on this page. He doesn't even say out really, but he's there for some reason. And we've got another one on the next page. This one is of Jade Lanterns, looking very sexy. Hashtag make She-Hulk Lantern She-Hot again. Hashtag. This are Todd McFarlane, who is a genius. So I'm sure these random character shots are there for an innovative reason, not just because we was bored of drawing a volleyball scene. We've got one for Obsidian Man, and I've always felt Obsidian Man is like the least focused on of all these characters. He's almost more like a supporting character despite being part of the team. And it's a shame because he is one of my favourite characters. If you haven't read Infiniteers or any Justice Society of Superheroes stuff, or that Justice League run when he was a member, you might recognise Obsidian Man from Christmas on Infinite Earths. He was one of the characters at the start, one of the main characters in the first 3 issues. Him and Hellcat were the Infiniteers' representation in that event, I guess. So they're packing, playing volleyball because Orc from Orc and Dove is a jerk. And then we start the real story. Miss Furry, she puts on her costume and there's the baby kangaroos and they're playing with a toy of Captain Carrot. And this should be a book, Captain Carrot and the Baby Kangaroos. I would read that. And then we have got Mr. Bean, early Mr. Bean though. And early Mr. Bean, he talks a lot more. You'd be surprised. Also, I went to the same school as Rowan Atkinson. Annoyingly, Mr. Bean is only speaking in rhymes like a dandy or a mental. And he drops this gimmick later on in favour of side-splitting slapstick. So we have a fight between Miss Furry and Mr. Bean. He's trying to kidnap her and the baby kangaroos, they're watching. They are cute, aren't they? Also, not an ideal domestic pet, but they are cute. Look up here, other than that face, that's basically Spain right there. It's as if Todd McFarlane has a style or something. We've got an advert there for League of Supermen, and as I've said, never really gotten into them. Is this issue a good starting point? Question mark. I'll get this one if you reckon it is, mainly because the advert says, you really expect us to get people to pay for this? So we're having a good little fight here. Nice showing for Miss Furry, and this is our introduction to Mr. Bean. We didn't really get much backstory or explanation, or really character for Mr. Bean. And I imagine they didn't initially imagine that he would be such a big character with such a long shelf life. We do get some vague suggestion that he has had his DNA altered and that the skull thing isn't a mask, so that's summit. And here's our catch up with the other characters, and again we see little shots of them in costume. This page, I quite like it. It makes a bit more sense, and it stands out as being visually unique. I think this is quite a clever little page. And if you didn't guess, the baby kangaroos get involved, and it is cute. This is a bit more in line with the sort of crazy hijinks we associate with Mr. Bean normally. When Mr. Bean is asleep, one of the baby kangaroos takes his glove off and they start undressing him, they start stealing his clothes. And this would be really funny, but this is where I get mad, because one of the baby kangaroos gets hurt and dies. And the other one is sad because his friend is dead. Why would anyone want to read something like this? It was a good comic, and then they killed the baby animal. They were just little baby kangaroos, and they were cute, and they hadn't hurt anyone. And Mr. Bean killed one of them. It's just evil. I cannot, on good conscience, enjoy any of his feature films or TV series or embarrassing corporate adverts ever again. And I rate this comic no more than 7 thumbs up.